Welcome back to Adventure and Repeat. If this is your first time here, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you like what you see on this episode. Here we are to talk about RVs. Should you buy new or used? What are the benefits of both? And how do I feel as an RV technician? Which way you can go? So, first thing to start out with, what are the good things? The good things about new is you get the new features, the new technology, the new floor plans, and obviously the warranty. So there are plenty of things that come with it. You can pick out colors and stylings, things like that. You pretty much have the option of going through the gamut and picking whatever you want, whatever options, and the sky is the limit. And that is the beautiful thing about it. You can go anywhere as you want and price compare, price shop, and haggle down the price a lot easier. The pros of buying a used one, straight up, they're cheaper because they are used. Everybody says that you drive it off the lot and the price goes down. Just what it is, the value goes down. That's just how it goes. So, up front, it is cheaper. Some floor plans that you find in newer models may be discontinued from older times. Some floor plans, they just quit making anymore. Like in the bunkhouse style, they quit making a quad bunk in the back without a slide room. The only way to get that now is to have with a slide out. Some people don't like slide out. So, older RVs, you can find floor plans that aren't available today. So that is a benefit to buying in the used market. So, the bad things about buying in the new market is price. You're straight up going to pay a premium for it, especially right now that the prices are very high. But everything has gone up, so you got to remember to take that with a grain of salt. Costs more to buy bread, costs more to buy milk, costs more to buy a house, so RVs will go up in price as well. So prices, yeah, they have gone up, but they are matching the market for everything else. You may have a few issues when you roll out the RV from the lot because some dealerships don't do a perfect pre-delivery inspection or PDI. So you may have a few minor issues like this doesn't work, or this is not right, or this piece of trim is falling off. But with that, you can always have it fixed. The downside is, yeah, you have to. It sucks that you have to do it, but sometimes it happens. It really just depends on those things, how good of the dealership is that you buy it from. Because their techs are supposed to go through and check it. If they don't, or they say they did and it ends up being wrong, yeah, you got to deal with it. But the keynote is you're under warranty, and most RVs have a 2-year warranty nowadays or more. So it's free of charge to get it fixed. It's just inconvenient to come back to do it. Another bad thing about buying new is the warranty work and repairs. Sometimes dealing with a warranty department in an RV shop can be a pain. Sometimes dealerships or RV manufacturers don't like to pay. We go the runaround with that sometimes too, but we make things right. So we are a good dealership to work with. That's how it is. So sometimes you can also get poor warranty work. Hey, I got a piece of trim that's fallen off. I need it to be fixed. Well, they stuck it on, but by the time you got it home, it fell off again. Sometimes you may have to deal with that problem and go back and forth. So that really depends more on the dealership and the people that you're working with more than the RV manufacturer itself. There are some manufacturers that build things better than others, but really you're coming down to it's still made by people, it's still being repaired by people, and the people that you work with to repair and the back side of the process really make up your experience if it's going to be good or bad. So if you have a good dealership and a good place to work with or get done, or if you can do it yourself, that is the best way to go about it because you can save yourself a ton of money and you can get the quality that you really should have when you do it. The bad thing about buying used. So, you got to look at tire age. Anything more than 7 years old, you should probably replace them. Yeah, they have plenty of tread life left, and you can probably get 20 years out of them. But if you're on a 4,000 mile road trip across the country and you get a tire blowout in the middle of Arizona, and you're 2,000 miles from home, and you ruin bearings, you take out a whole bunch of body work and fenders and things like that, and you make a mess out of the electronics, especially when you're talking about the Class A's, that you have so much plumbing and electronics just wrapped around a tire well. One simple tire blowout can cost $15,000 worth of damage. So it can add up very quickly. So tire age is a very crucial thing that nobody really talks about in the RV industry, but it is something you need to be aware of. Bearings. If you're in a towable, when's the last time have they been serviced? Have they ever been serviced? Do they get grease regularly? Do they never get grease at all? Things like that, you want to know what the history is, because if you buy it, if it was me buying it, I'd be taking it apart and redoing it all anyways, regardless of what they tell me, because whoever did it, yeah, I just repacked it, last week. It's good to go. It doesn't say they did it right, because maybe they didn't know better, but it's always something you got to be aware of when you think about it on the towable side of it. Do the brakes work also? Well, it stops. I mean, what more do you ever got to check? Do they all work? If you got multiple axles, do all the axles work? Do you only sell them? Are you like half and half? Are they working but not working? These are all things that can start adding up in cost if you start really trying to dive into it and really fix things the way they should be done. Do the towing lights work? Do you got your brake lights? Do you got your tail lights? Do you got your marker lights? Are they all working properly? Is your connection between the towed vehicle and the trailer good? Is everything kind of janky? The wire connection just wire nutted together in a wet environment? That's not going to last long. So those are things you also have to look out for. You got to check the roof. It's inconvenient when you're buying a used one to go up on the roof and check it over, especially if you don't have a ladder. They don't come with one on the back. You want to check it out because they're supposed to be checked and serviced yearly. If they are not, you can have seams separate and peel back and start leaking. They've done it within 6 months of being brand new, just if the manufacturer didn't put it on right on the cheaper models. So that is one thing you always want to check for, is go across the roof and check for everything. You want to check the inside. If it looks like it had water damage, you're probably going to want to walk away. They sometimes say, oh yeah, it had a water leak the once and I got it fixed and never had to worry about it again, but how long was it leaking? Because that can talk about issues with the floor being rotted. You got rot issues in the walls, things like that. You can structurally compromise the wood parts of the RV just from a small water leak. So roof leaks are a big deal. You want to make sure you check out for roofs, and that can add up to a lot of money too in the backside of it. Plumbing leaks. Does it currently have plumbing leaks? Has it ever had plumbing leaks? Was it not winterized properly once and the water heater burst? It was fixed, but maybe there's lines run through the floor that could be leaking that you don't know about. Those are things to keep an eye on or know about that you need to check. Do all the systems even work? Does the furnace work? Does the hot water heater work? Does the air conditioning work? You go to buy an RV in the winter, and they plug it in and say, oh yeah, the air conditioner turns on, but it's too cold for the compressor to kick on, so you can't actually check to see if it works. Is it actually working? They could say, oh, it worked for me the last time I used it, and then you go to use it, and it doesn't. That's frustrating. Maybe they knew about it, and they just didn't want to tell you. That's why they're selling in the winter. Things like that can happen, so you want to be aware of that with a used RV. Any other hidden issues is a big deal. What are they hiding from you? Was there a bad spot in the floor that they just covered up? Was there things broke that they don't want to talk about? Things like that. There can be a myriad of different issues that they're just not telling you about. Because the way I look at it is if they're selling the RV, they're selling it for a reason. There are a lot of truthful people out there that want to tell you what the reason is. And that's fine. But some people, just like buying used cars, they may not be telling you the whole truth. So sometimes there are hidden issues. Also with older vehicles, mice, they can get into stuff. I mean, it can be in new stuff as well, but not as likely. So, were mice ever a problem? Did they stain stuff? Did they leave nests in there? That, during the summer, can start to smell when you start to heat up everything in storage. Gets into your fabrics, things like that. It takes a little bit to get that smell out, so sometimes mice can be a problem. Another thing, missing items. They never used the table. They had something there in the way. They lost a table leg. Simple things like that. What other things are they missing? Do they have everything? Do they not know about everything? Do they even have all the manuals that came with it? Sometimes things get lost. No fault to anybody of their own. It's just what it is. Are those things you can be okay with being missing? things like that. So in the used side, it can be a little bit more challenging with all these things that add up. The trade-off for new versus used. The trade-off is, in a new RV, the pressure is more on the dealer to make sure they have a quality product, everything works, and they're giving you the experience that you want. So if they're not giving the experience you want, that's really on the dealer, because everything comes with a warranty. So that is the biggest thing about it. The nice thing is, it's warranty. No questions asked. They got to fix it. That's how that works. The only challenge is it's more expensive up front. That's plain and simple. That's what it is. So you get what you pay for. You're paying for new. You're going to get new. You know where it's been. Nobody's lived in it. Nobody's slept in it. Nobody's stained it. Nobody's made a bunch of smells in it. You know, it's, you know what you're getting when you buy new. So you get a premium price. So on the other side, used, the pressure is more on the buyer to really go through and inspect every little detail to make sure they know what they're getting. It is not uncommon for some people to get a survey done. If the price is high enough, you can get a survey. They are expensive and they can add up. If you find out, I actually don't want it and it's really bad, that money is now out the window. So you really have the pressure on the buyer to know what you're getting. You can, when you're looking at one, have them hook everything up and make sure everything is working when you go to see it. Some people don't like to accommodate. And if they don't want to accommodate, to me that's hiding something and you don't want to deal with them anyways. Yes, you may want that RV. It may be in your price range and it may be too good to be true. Maybe it is if they don't want to accommodate, because if nobody's hiding anything, they should be able to hook it up and show you everything works just fine. And with that, you may have more repair and maintenance up front versus buying new. It just works. You drive it off the lot, you're good to go. With a used one, like we talked about, your tire, bearing, and brakes and things like that, you may have to save yourself some money to begin with, but you may have to spend some of that money that you saved right away trying to get it up into usable condition. Sorry. So, as an example, I have a very good one. This RV right here is a Jayco 2016 264BH. We bought it brand new off the lot in 2016. We paid $14,000 out the door, $14,000 and change. But that's how much we paid at that time, brand new. It was what we could afford. It's all we needed. And it works out great, and it still works great to us to this day, even after we've added kids and things like that. We've towed across the country with us. It's been a great camper for us. I've tried to maintain it as best I can and taken care of things, and it's worked out great. The nice thing is, buying back in 2016, prices and things have gone up, and I've valued it now. I've checked the NADA website, and we are now worth $20,000. We've appreciated in value. Very odd, very rare does that happen. So if I took my RV right now, being 8 years old, I could sell it for $20,000. That's pretty good, right? Now you compare that to a new 264BH, because the same floor plan does exist. It just minor tweaks and additions, things like that. Technology's changed a little bit, the styling, the colors, few minor changes. It's still available, and they go for around $30,000. So I got a $10,000 difference between my 8-year-old Jayco and a brand new Jayco. 10 grand makes a big difference, right? Obviously, most people are going to go with the used one because I know it's in working condition. But to reel it back just a little bit, it's 8-year-old. It needs tires. That's $1,000. The bearings need to be repacked. If you can't do it yourself, you got to pay somebody. There's another $1,500 gone. The brakes, if they all need to be replaced, there's another $1,000. You know, that all adds up just right there. The first initial things that you need to have checked and gone through, that's $3,500 if you're paying somebody else to do that. Now, you also got to think about other things like the AC unit's 8 years old. Has it been run every day of its life during the summer? Do you think it's on the backside? Was it ever taken care of? Was it maintained? Was it cleaned out? Things like that. The batteries, are they the original ones at 8 years old? They're probably bad. This just has a single battery, so it's not a big deal to replace it. I put 2 in there, so not a big deal, but when you start talking about RVs and Class A's that have 3, 4, 5, and 6, that can be a large chunk of change, even if you're just buying the batteries themselves and not even paying somebody to put them in. That's just, battery costs can get expensive. The fridge, heating element goes bad, cooling unit goes bad, things happen. It can fail. That's a cost that you got to think about. Other than that, you got your furnace and water heater. Things do fail. Honestly, I had the furnace. It took a dump on me on year 3. Turned out to be a sail switch, $14 part. The challenge was I had to take the whole couch out and take the furnace out from the inside to be able to get to taking the whole entire unit apart just to get that $14 part out. So that $14 part for most people would have been a $600 bill. So all that stuff can add up in an older coach or an RV that you may be wanting to buy. So if you think about it, we've closed that gap between $20,000 and $30,000 pretty tight, where you're only talking about a couple grand difference depending on age, conditions, and things like that. I know I've maintained mine, so yeah, it is a 10 grand separation for the next person that would want to buy it if I sold it today, which I'm not. But somebody else may not have maintained it in this way, and it could be due for all these things because they just parked it and left it. So, new or used, completely up to you. You get to decide that. I'm just bringing up the facts, the numbers, the things that are associated with it to try to help you make a informed decision. Not saying you have to buy new. Just because I work for an RV dealer does not mean I advocate that you have to buy it, because there are plenty of good used things out on the market too as well. The challenge is you just got to find that one, and it's a little bit harder to find, especially in the floor plan that you want. So, benefits to both sides. It's a trade-off. Sometimes you can't afford the upfront cost and you have to make it up on the used side and work through it if you have issues. So, that is my take on the new versus used debate on when you should buy or not buy an RV. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me about it. Do you like this video? Do you not like this video? What else do you want to hear about? I appreciate it. You have a nice day.